Hello everyone, and welcome to the overview showcase from our Naboo mock. It's been close to a year since I started this project, but I only worked on it for about 2 of those months. The large time gap was mostly due to the pandemic messing things up in various ways and my own laziness. Now, before we get started, I want to give shoutouts to the people that helped make this happen. First off, my new look, Akimbolug. You got some great talents already, and I'm excited for what we'll do in the future. Next up, my boy Mythicbricks, who's another great mock builder you can check out. And lastly, I want to mention my good friend DC, who was just recently rebranded with a different channel focused on collecting all sorts of things. Whether it's Lego or these awesome premium figures he's got in lit up display cabinets. Links for everyone will be in the description. Let's move on to the mock. First off, I think we should start by taking a look at this arch over here, as it's in the forefront of the mock. Now, originally, I hadn't intended on making this, as I'm not exactly copying the Battlefront map one-to-one. Instead, I sort of took my artistic liberties in some places. So this middle section over here actually was first just me prototyping an arch that would go between that building and the tower over there, which those both had completely different designs at first. Now, this was a lot shorter then, because that's much shorter of a gap, and I just modified the design to make it a little bit larger. Now, the side effect of that was that these gaps over here started to appear, which I don't really mind them. I think it still looks really good from afar, but maybe that's something I could have done a little bit better. Now, next up, I want to talk about this building over here. This was actually the last thing I built, and I think my favorite. It was based on a design from the game, there's 2 designs, which most buildings in the mock are. They're usually a mix of 2 different buildings. Now, I'm just very happy with all the different techniques I used, like the corners and the windows, which most of them were actually made due to a lack of pieces, as I was really getting low on the decorative elements. And that little golden ornament at the bottom is favored because it came together accidentally. Now, also you have these little Technic gear pieces, this is all I had left. And on the top of it, now right next to this we have Grievous and Obi-Wan having a little bit of a duel. It's based on Battlefront, so I wanted to include every single one of the main heroes you can play on the co-op map. Now, next up is this building over here. I think I had the most amount of pieces available when building this, but I ended up making it very simplistic, which is kind of ironic. So for the bottom we have this base made out of that medium nude color, then some light bluish gray tiles, and then the middle's main structure. This was originally going to be a tall tower, which it ended up not being. Just when building it, it felt like it fitted better like this. And for the windows over there, I tried to use a technique that Bevins bricks put in one of his videos, where you stack those what are they called? Cheese slips, yeah. We stack multiple of those translucent ones in there, and then if you shine a light through it, it glows up and looks like a church window, like stained glass. But I don't have the light on right now, so we'll get a look at that later on in the video. So it looks very dull without the light, but I think it's still better than just normal glass. Now then we have one of these trees right here next to it, and taking a look at this building next. I probably should have set the back of this building, as you can't really see much at the front, but oh well. So over here you've got a bunch of these 501st troopers running around here, lovely guys. Those weren't originally out when I started making the mock, so it was kind of a good thing that came with the massive delays. But so over here you got some more of these wines, which were also featured on the arch, but I didn't really talk about. Those are really basic, just plant pieces with those leaf pieces with some other plant pieces on them. Then you have some Technic gears here, which is really all I had left at the end for detail wise, and some random crates and stuff. You got the roof over here, which this was the first roof I did with that type of design, mixing those tiles and plates. Super simple, but it works well. I believe this was also the first dome I made. This was one of my favorite buildings for a while, because I made it as with an offset base, which basically meant I had to make the base first, and then all of the house was built upside down and then plonked onto it. So yeah, I think we'll take a look at the front. Now here we have a view of the front of this building. This was also like I said earlier, this was inspired by another building in the game where you got those two columns on each side, and then some golden ornaments in front of them. Got some flower planters over there from the clones. The door in the archway, which actually was asymmetrical. I didn't realize that at first. The flag, the dome, and then you got this little garden area over here. Now it's kind of hard for me to get a view of this. Let me. There you go. Now I've got some flowers and a little like fountain area that is inspired by the game. You can see what some of those disc-like fountains in multiple places. Got an astromech droid there, just like the game, and then a doorway to the tower. There's not really much here. Oh yeah, also that bench right. And now back on this side, you can see sort of this view over here. You can see like into the city itself, and that spire over there next to the palace, which I'll get to much later. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the back side, which I didn't, which was one of the last things I built. It's just sort of like this swampland area. I put some trees here for a while, but then I sort of didn't like them much anymore. I didn't think they looked all that good, and Naboo like really only has grasslands like behind the palace and stuff, and mountains as well. But there's also, as you can see, a mini kit hidden behind there. Kind of had to include that. Got a few of those in the mock, well, as many as I can make. Not quite 10, but I think that's still okay. Now I think we'll take a look at the other side. Now over here we got sort of another garden area. Again, sort of. If I would have done this area now, I think I would have done it a little bit differently. Maybe it's like some exposed like grassland with some flowers and something similar to the other side. But I still think it looks pretty good. We got this gazebo here in the middle, which has like some steps leading up to it, and like my very, very basic floor mosaic. I wanted to do some stuff with cheese slips, but I just didn't have any. I didn't want to order many. Like, I mean, many in different colors. So you got some crates over there as well, some droids. This is like the droid side of the map. Yeah, I made some of these holes in the ground as well. And then gold flower planter. Some flowers there, some more droids attacking, droidicus custom designs. And a lamppost in the back, and another look at the AT. Some of the other buildings from the front there. And then this sort of church building, which was, I think, the earliest building that's still standing. Aside from the main palace itself. I'm quite happy with this. I didn't take it down. It looks a bit too much like a church without being supposed to be a church. There's some stuff I would change about it, I guess, but I think it still works, especially for like one of the older buildings, and I wanted to include it still. So yeah, I think we'll move on to the next building now, which will be from the other side. Now, taking a look at this from the other side, over here we have the other view for this church building over here, which it's got like this other bit over here added to it, which has that sort of like rectangular rim around the window. Got some crates over there, and then some clones coming from that alleyway, and then a little showdown over there between Bosk and Chewbacca. Kind of felt that had to be in there, because yeah, you got both of those in this area, and they're kind of well, their species don't like each other. Let's just say that. Now we have I think my second favorite building over here, which is sort of like this sort of like dome temple thing, and this is definitely based on a building from the game. The actual building in the game has some white in it, but at this point I had used a lot of my white as filler for this mock, because actually, believe it or not, this mock took a lot of filler, which I didn't think it would originally. Now I really like the ornament design I did there, which actually was the one in the middle there was made with, you know how sometimes, I don't know if other people do this, but I do when I'm like out of ideas, I'm just sitting there like fumbling around. I'll just take like random pieces and connect them. So well, I did that with the egg over there and some of the other ornamental pieces there. And then actually like just kept the design around for ages. And then I was just like trying to make the middle there, and I was like, oh my god, that would fit perfectly in there. And I think it did. It looks really good, so yeah. Moving into the close-up over here, we have Anakin fighting some droids. Droidica again. Yeah, so 5 first reinforcements coming from all over the place. Some, one of them from inside the thing over there. And then you got this over here, which I really like that flower planter. It's one of the last things I threw together just right before I recorded the other video. And then you got, yeah, some more crates and another one of those spires. And the second tower over there, which, excuse the mess in the background. Looks pretty good. So I think I'll take an overview look at the palace itself.
Alright, so taking a look at this from the other side, here we do have the main road, which I lied. Yeah, we're not going to take a look at the palace just yet. Gotta start with the road. Now here you got the arch from the other side, battle droid standing there, super battle droid. The AAT, which is the Mr. Idler design. Now I actually made this like a few days before Rich Boy J put out his video showcasing both this and the blue one, which was a funny coincidence. I actually also did build it with my arm broken, so it took me, I think, 2 full days of just pure building. But I mean, I was bored, so what else could I do? And got another one of these. Oops, I just knocked off the thing from the palace. But yeah, got another one of those droids over there. Darth Maul, like messing up a clone. Flower planter, the golden kind, and then some of the big ones over there as well. This big cargo crate over here, and that was fun to design. Copied the design from the game. And then I'm gonna turn around to the other view. And sort of like a bonus thing before we get to the other side, I hadn't really shown off this area from this angle much. So yeah, over here we have that building over there, the temple one, and then you got like sort of this crack I did in base there. I'm quite proud of. I got some more droids and the crate over there. Just wanted to make sure I got this shot in the video. So here we have Dooku and Yoda having their little face off over there, with sort of like the view of the Grand Palace. You got the 2 trees, well, the 4 trees, 2 on each side, and the spires in the back, sort of trying to get the lighting a little bit better in there. And the steps and the door, which is kind of hard for me to change right now, but I wish I would have done it a little differently. Got the little like areas in the side there, which I originally wanted to have statues. Like I said, this wasn't supposed to be the actual palace from the movies or the games. Just sort of like my creative interpretation. And I know this is super inaccurate, but I still think it came out pretty well. And you got the mini kit right there as well. Before I end the video, I kind of wanted to show you guys what I promised, which is the sort of the light that you can turn on, and it shows like shines through this, and it looks really cool. Now I probably put too bright of a light in there because you can kind of like see through all the gaps, and there's a lot of light that comes from the other windows. But it still looks like really cool when you got that effect going in the back, and you can like view it from like this angle. It's my first time like experimenting at all with lights, so I think it came out pretty well. Now, before I end things out, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I've got a bunch of things coming up in the next month or so, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe.